Hi, Original Soul. Welcome in. Welcome back. Thank you for showing up to this reading. Why don't we jump into it, shall we? We'll run through these oracle cards here. I hope you're doing super well. All right, so up at the top of this reading, number 8, fertility and sex. And this card I noted last week as well because it kept wanting to pop out and then it ended up being at the bottom of the deck. So this is out of the Egyptian Oracle deck with Shadi Bakati, the pregnant twins. All right, so maybe you've been getting out there a little bit more. For some of you, you might be pregnant. Maybe you're pregnant with twins or you're going to be pregnant soon. So keeping that in mind too, if that's not something that you're interested in. But this card is about your body. Obviously, it is about fertility and sex as well, but it can just be about your physicality. I mean, notice this acrobatic looking position that she is in on this card. So you could be, just taking better care of your body or doing something physically. Maybe even that's challenging. That really works with your body, or just moving in different ways. Or again, this could literally and directly be about sex. All right, we'll move on to the other ones before we add tarot to it. So we've got the Sweat Lodge. The Sweat Lodge does represent the womb, so we do have a lot of this mother energy, or even, sacral energy, second chakra, which everyone has these energy centers. So the second chakra is about sex. It can be about emotions. Creativity is another one too. So this could be about really being fertile with ideas. It doesn't necessarily have to be, literally with another human person. But the Sweat Lodge, this represents, like I said, womb energy, but going back to the womb, going back to Mother Earth, getting grounded. And the purpose of Sweat Lodges is to bring things up and release toxicity, promote healing, all these different sorts of things. So I don't know, have you ever been to a Sweat Lodge or done some kind of journey like that? I'm very interested and curious about that, but I have not tried that myself. But definitely, taking a deeper look, taking a deeper dive, and being willing to let things come up to the surface. Maybe this has to do with past experiences, or potentially even blocks or wounds around your sacral chakra, whether that's a physical thing or a creative thing for you. With resurrection, we've got California poppy. Look at those beautiful orange flowers, which is the color associated with sacral energy. So that is definitely coming through very strong in this reading. So again, the color orange with that, but something may be coming back to the surface. For some of you, this could be, a person popping back up. Maybe this is in a physical sort of way, or this could be, with the Sweat Lodge card, some sort of memories or experiences or even triggers being brought up to the surface. This could be something that does happen at night, like maybe you're fine during the day, and then once it starts getting darker, it can be a little bit harder when that stillness sets in or that quiet sets in. There could even be maybe an avoidance of, dealing with things, and maybe, using, sex or going out as sort of a way to not deal or not allow those things to come to the surface. Right? But you could be having stuff pop up in dreams or happen at night, or maybe you're even getting a little insight or some kind of inspiration when you are finding yourself unable to sleep or settle. And then we've also got the completion card here. What a cool image on this card. Also a number 9. So we have 8 at the top, 9 in the middle. But with completion, this indicates some sort of cycle closing up, some sort of healing taking place, something coming to an end, right? And that is a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but It is easier to have that happen when you actually allow things to come up, right? From that energy center, from that womb space, allow whatever this is to be resurrected and to come back into your awareness instead of being pushed down in your body or somewhere in your subconscious where you start acting and reacting and not really knowing why. But again, with completion, that feels like this might be, again, coming to a close, or you're coming maybe out of what might have been sort of one of those darker periods of time. You're starting to come to the end of that and come to the light side of things, right? So that feels really good, really powerful. And then let's see here. At the bottom, we have a 10. So we've got 8, 9, 10 in this reading. So maybe that's something you're seeing, or maybe you really are making a lot of progress. And like I was just saying with that completion, right? 10 in numerology goes back to 1. So some sort of new thing is allowed to start, a new chapter, a new book, a new journey. But out of the angel deck, 6 of Pentacles, Aladia, number 10, the favorable God, divine grace, cures rage and pestilence, absolves the guilty. All right, so there's an angel to potentially call on or work with. 6 of Pentacles is often about balance, giving and receiving. Right? So just noticing where you might be in that spectrum. Are you kind of out, like I was saying, maybe always giving to others or giving too much of yourself away? Or has that been more hermited in, and maybe you've been more blocked in that area, right? Overactive or blocked. So a little bit of balance to be brought in. So working with your second chakra might be really helpful this week. And that can be as simple as, right, maybe you wear some orange or you eat some orange foods. You could look up even binaural beats or solfeggio frequencies that are associated with the sacral energy. So just different things like that. Do something that gets your creative juices flowing. Maybe move a little bit. All right, and then out of the spirit animal deck, spirit animal for the week is cat, which I had to laugh because last week with fertility and sex, and a couple other cards, there was also abundance, and I'm trying to remember what else. But cougar came out, which kind of made me laugh. So this week we got cat. So just a little baby version. But cat is about independence. You are being encouraged to develop a balance between independence and time of togetherness. This also indicates that you would greatly benefit from a profound journey of self-discovery. Learn to enjoy to spend time with yourself. All right, so I feel like that ties in really well with the Sweat Lodge card about going on that journey, right? Letting what comes up come up. As I mentioned before too, maybe you use kind of going out or, even like hooking up with people as a way to make yourself feel better, right? So maybe avoid feelings of lack or unworthiness or loneliness. So just noticing where you might be at on that spectrum. Or like I said, this did talk about balance. So if you already are really independent, like I said, maybe you've been more in hermit mode and maybe you've kind of blocked or locked yourself away a little bit from others. And so it might be time to bring in that balance and open up a little bit. All right, before we add the tarot, let's see what Archangel Michael wants to say. We got 2 messages out today. I haven't seen these yet, so we'll see what these are. All right, guarded and protected. My prayer, thank you for protecting my loved ones and me, ensuring that we're safe and that all of our needs are met. I now accept your help gratefully and gracefully, knowing that it's right for me and all others to accept heavenly assistance. All right, so there's the first one there. Then we've got write about your thoughts and feelings. My prayer, thank you for helping me tap into my God-given creativity and wisdom so I clearly express myself and glean insight, blessing, and healing. Wow, that actually seems like a really good summary of some of the cards that we have out here so far, talking about creativity, and wisdom, which owl represents. And then we've got the orange here representing creativity. And then getting insight and healing, which definitely goes with completion, and the Sweat Lodge card as well. All right, so maybe you have kind of abundance of clarity coming in. All right, let's add a little tarot to these and see what we get. All right, we'll start at the top here with the fertility and sex card. Let's see what shows up. All right. And so far we've got cats, snake, and owls out as animal symbols or friends. All right, King of Swords. All right, King of Swords can be detached. That was kind of the first word that came to my mind. So since this is coming out with fertility and sex, maybe there has been a little bit of detachment from feelings around those subjects, or maybe even a little bit of sort of, yeah, like a lack of kind of love or emotion involved. Let's get one more with it here. Could also be thoughts that are just dominating your mindset as well. Let's see what came out here. Yeah, Seven of Cups and Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a fiery energy. It can definitely be passionate, like a conquest type of energy. And with the Seven of Cups, that is about choices. All right, so maybe there has been, like I said, a little bit of detachment, or, from using your heart with your choices. Maybe this is more been about sort of conquest, or just, yeah, sort of being a little bit more physical in that way. Yeah, for some of you too, you could, have gone through some sort of breakup in a relationship, and maybe now you're kind of out there playing the field a little bit, like making up for lost time in some sort of way. So I don't know if this part makes sense to anyone here, but let's get one with Sweat Lodge. And for others of you, this is being, just discerning. Getting clarity where you maybe used to have confusion. Maybe you start to use your discernment over, what is passion and lust versus like real feelings and love, or that sort of thing. With Sweat Lodge here, we have 9 of Cups. He looks pretty happy there, sitting under all those cups floating above his head. There's a candle burning. I know the Sweat Lodge card also mentioned at night maybe lighting a candle. And again, just kind of sitting quiet and letting things come up. And Archangel Michael, too, reminding us to write about our feelings. I know for me, journaling has been super helpful. And once you kind of just get out of that initial whatever garbage is kind of coming out of your mind, I've really had a lot of insights by kind of page 2 or 3. All of a sudden, I start writing something. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that, or I didn't even know that's what was going on. But you gotta allow that time for things to come up. So yeah, taking a seat, just sitting back. Maybe you even take time to appreciate not only the good and easy things in your life, but some of the things that have been a little bit challenging, and allow yourself to sit with that. All right, let's get one more with that here. Yeah, Judgment, And Knight of Pentacles. All right, so, you know, for some of you, this maybe has been a slow process, or maybe you have been doing reflection work for a while. Like I already mentioned, time to get grounded. And noticing where judgment is coming in. We do have another owl in this judgment card up in the tree. But yeah, not really, you know, especially if this is emotional things or, you know, past kind of wounds or blocks or triggers that are coming up for you. Not really like pointing the finger or blaming necessarily anyone. This would more be about bringing in compassion, really being a little more methodical and practical, and grounded while you're doing this sort of process. Trying to understand maybe a little bit of the lesson or what strengths you've gained because of this. And then allowing yourself, like I said, to take out that self-judgment or take out any of the criticism that you might bring in, or frustration and anger, letting some of that go to the side. And just allowing yourself to kind of be reborn a little bit. Just how they're coming out of those coffins there. Right, all in white, kind of reborn, pure, and really understanding that wisdom, you know, from taking time to slow down, from taking time to review, from taking time to sit, even though it might be uncomfortable. All right, let's see here. Let's get some cards with resurrection, California poppy. Eight of Wands. So Eight of Wands can be about messages. Like I said, maybe this is something from the past popping back up. Maybe you get some messages from a past person. And we are currently in Mercury retrograde right now. So that energy is definitely around and out there. Again, this could be something that you already had kind of sent away or decided wasn't for you. That might be coming back. Picking up on the magnifying glass in here and this other candle as well. So doing some candle meditations, or just, you know, creating a soothing environment might be really helpful. But you might get information, or it might just be something new or a little bit different than it was before, right? It's not necessarily going to be the exact same experience. You may have discovered something, or you're seeing something a little more clearly or closely. Let's see here. We've got the Two of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles came out. We got a couple cards there. All right, Two of Cups is another card of balance. It's a card about choice. It's a card about union. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier. I don't know if you can see this in this card, but this figure is holding two cups right there. So that had reminded me of the Two of Cups card. So yeah, I mean, this could be a message from another person. It could be someone who is, you know, fiery and passionate with the King of Wands here. Right? This could also be some sort of message or insight that sparks your creativity, that kind of gets you out of, if you've been in some sort of rut. Maybe it helps get you unblocked a little bit, you know, in that area of your body and of your energy field. Yeah, I don't know. It's up to you here. We'll see if this is something that you accept or you keep locked out. This could be something that you feel may kind of upset your stability a little bit. But sometimes, you know, we can be stuck and feel like that's stability, right? Other times it's actually stability, right? And things might get kind of out of whack here. But there's so many different locks on this door. There's a couple on the bottom, some sort of weird mechanism. Then we got these chains kind of going through, another lock on top. So this could be someone you even shut out before, you know, and it's up to you if you're willing to let that back in. Or you could have just felt like you've had some experiences in love and relationships. You know, that left you feeling alone or shut out. Yeah, so this is about doing and making choices for what's best for you. And you get to decide, right, who and what you let into your energy. So keeping that in mind, because like Archangel Michael mentioned on this one with guarded and protected, you know, are you protecting yourself, you know, too much because that's a block? Or again, only you know to discern if, you know, maybe something is coming back around that you do need to kind of keep that door shut on. All right, let's see here. With completion, this card does indicate that something is coming to a close or to an end. And the World card came out as well, which is another completion card. It's the last major arcana in the deck. Look at both of those kind of circles on this card. You could be kind of fixed in your decision, already have your mind set. Yeah, get outside, get barefoot. If you believe in like fairy magic or gnomes, maybe you connect with those out in a forest somewhere. Right, but you are in control, like I was saying. You get to decide who comes into your energy field and who doesn't. You get to decide if you want to go back to a situation you've already been through or not, right? Only you know if that's something that is going to have you feeling stuck or needing to defend yourself. All right, but it's definitely this sort of mental stuck energy is coming to an end. Yeah, it's time to complete some sort of cycle. Let's get something here with cat independence. All right. And then with cat and independence, we've got the Knight of Cups and the Two of Swords. So yeah, for some of you, this could be somebody that you were involved with in the past, maybe coming back around. Something is being resurrected. Maybe this is someone you had to do some healing over at some point. Right now they're just kind of showing back up, kind of wanting to pick things up, maybe where they left off or something like that. You know, there could be some sort of apology coming in or some sort of, you know, offer. And then there's a choice. You can see the blindfold on. So not really taking into account any other chatter or really what anyone else is thinking or feeling. This is about you needing to make this choice. Again, it looks like she's doing Tai Chi or some sort of martial arts. So maybe that's for somebody out there as well. Again, like I mentioned with this card too, just getting out and moving your body, maybe that helps give you some insight or helps loosen up some of these blockages that you may be experiencing. And twos are about balance, right? Things being weighed out, choices being made, right? So only you know what makes sense for you, like I said, and just really picking up on, again, there's some sort of detached energy in this sort of area. But you really are the one in charge. Right? You get to decide who comes in, what comes in, how you use your energy. All right, let's see here. We'll get one more with it. Two more with it. Yeah, 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands. 5 of Wands, 10 of Wands. You know, this can be about conflict or fighting or arguing. This can also be, though, like in this image, they may not necessarily be fighting. Maybe they're practicing. Okay, so that could be for somebody as well. Like maybe you've really done some healing. You've been working on all these sorts of things. And now, you know, something is coming back up where you kind of get to put all that healing work into practice and really see if you're going to continue to carry the same burdens. Right? Notice how these are on his head. Or if it's time that you've actually learned wisdom from those, right? It could also see these like little light bulbs all going off. All right. What an interesting reading this week. Let's see here. Let's come up with an affirmation. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling a little bit with this one. Give me a moment. Let's see. Okay. This is not where I thought this was going at the beginning, but here's what I've got. I am decisive. What do you think about that? You are decisive. All right, so what can you do to use everything you've learned to help you make your decisions? Right? Instead of being wishy-washy or unsure, right? Really just listen to yourself. Trust your instincts. Again, don't always have to worry about what everyone else's opinion and thoughts are, but being more decisive and making decisions in a way that are good for you, right? Not in a people-pleasing way, not so people will like you or you don't hurt their feelings or, you know, X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be. But being decisive and in a careful way with yourself. And notice what that does when you can use your confidence, use your tools that you've built, all this healing work that you've been going through, this reflection, right? Even past pain and hurt, right? All of these things have brought you to where you are right here, right now, in this moment today, right? But do what you can here to be decisive, right? Because you get to decide, right? Who comes into your energy, what you spend your time on, who you spend your time with, what that looks like, right? Taking into account how you feel, right? And deciding to get out of being mentally stuck or feeling blocked, right? And really getting into more of this completion and then eventually new energy. All right, like I said, super interesting reading today. I don't know, I would love to hear if part of this fits for you. I hope there was something here for you. I hope you have some good decisions going on this week. But yeah, that is what we've got for the reading. And until next time, peace.